and breathing mantra, a living triple entendre. We don't follow the trends, we invent and redefine genres. Pride and Egos is the real. Welcome to the show, the Pride and Egos Present show. Tell the viewers about yourself.
Yeah, my name's Sevenatra. I'm an independent recording artist. I do country, hip hop, R&B, kind of mash them all together. Just released my new album. It's called Backyard America. It's like a country hip hop mix. Yeah, so I just released that and it's taken off from there.
Wow. So were you born in Ohio?
Correct. Yeah. I was born in Cincinnati, Ohio. I was adopted as a baby. I was born to my biological mother had quite a few issues. She dealt with drugs and alcohol. So I got adopted to a family, moved out to California for a few years. Then we moved to Colorado. Then we moved to New Mexico. And then we moved to Arizona. And that's where I spent most of my formative years growing up, was in Arizona.
Okay. Wow. I lived out in California for a little bit, Southern Cal, so it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, it's a lot nicer back then.
Yeah, oh, I'm sure. I want to get a chance to get out there soon just to, visit, but I don't know if I can stay there.
Yeah, man, even just how expensive everything has gotten out there. But I mean, the weather is beautiful. There's a lot of great people out there still, though.
Yeah, definitely. So with all these different things with music and stuff like that, how do you manage your schedule in the stress of meeting deadlines or being creative and problem solving and everything else? How do you manage that?
Um, Very chaotically sometimes. My wife actually really helps me to make sure I'm staying on track with all the deadlines and I'm still working full time. I'm married, and I got three little daughters, 9, 8, and 4. So just
Okay.
constantly busy, and yeah, lots of prayer and making sure my wife makes sure that I'm staying on top of things and get things done when they're supposed to be done. Yeah, definitely. I would say big part would be my wife. She helps me a lot because I'm so busy and scatterbrained. I got a million projects going all at once. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the thing with people that's creative. They color outside the lines. So sometimes you need that balance to kind of bring you back in.
yeah, yep. She definitely is my partner, man. She helps me more than I deserve.
And that's always a good thing, especially nowadays with so much in the realm of messed up relationships, to
Yeah,
have somebody that actually, you can count on, they can count on you, and you work together. That's the true meaning of what this is about. It's a partnership. It shouldn't be one person getting all the benefits when the other person's suffering, and
yeah,
vice versa, whether it's the guy or the woman. So I
yep.
can definitely understand and respect that.
Yep.
Um,
I'm definitely very
so
proud of a woman like her. So
definitely. How'd you come up with the name?
Sevenatra. All right. Well, it actually originally growing up in Arizona, I got the name Seven through all my boys back then. They would always call me Seven. They kind of said it's because I had like different personalities sometimes. Yeah, so basically 7 different personalities. I had 7 different like music styles. They always said because I
Hmm.
grew up with hip hop. That was like my main genre. But at the same time, I did like some country songs. I loved classical music. So that's where the name Seven came from. Was way back in the day.
Hmm.
That also came when I was in Arizona. I did not make good choices growing up. Made a lot of poor choices actually. Um,
Hmm.
so I finally moved out of Arizona. I think when I was 23 or 24. because I got to the point to where I made so many mistakes in my life. I became homeless. Didn't have
Mm,
anything. I had one backpack with some dirty socks, and a couple shirts and a Bible. And my aunt gave me the opportunity to move up here to Michigan and check myself into a rehab. So I did that. I got off the phone, and within 2 days, I was here in Michigan and haven't looked back since. But so Seven was my nickname growing up. It always seemed to stick with me.
hmm
I didn't like the memories of Seven because there was not a lot of good things going on. But I still loved um, my past in a way, and I loved music, and I always loved Frank Sinatra. So instead of completely taking that out of my life, which I felt was really a part of me, um, I was able to form the nickname Seven and my love of Frank Sinatra, and I came up with Sevenatra, which basically stands for artistic completion.
Nice, nice. And that's really a creative way to not let go of your past and actually use it to fuel your future.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Yes.
I like that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I was figuring Sinatra, but I was like, I don't want to be, jump the gun and maybe something else. But I was like, and seven's a great number anyway. I was born on the seventh, so it's just a perfect number. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so it seems like you got a lot of experience traveling around. What was some of the places that you've been that you felt you picked up a lot of stuff from, good or bad?
um, so between California, Colorado, and New Mexico, those were like between newborn stage to I would say about 8 or 9. So I didn't really pick up
Hmm
too. I was a little from a baby to a little kid. There was a lot of family drama and stuff, but yeah, once I got into Arizona, and we didn't live in the best part, so I really picked up a lot of bad things. I was adopted into a really good Christian home. They tried their very best to lead me
hmm
in the right way. But I just continued to walk astray. So all the bad things I picked up from Arizona, you can name it, and I was probably involved in it. But thankfully, getting out of there, I did move after I went to Michigan and got into rehab. I actually got accepted into a little Bible college up in Colorado. So I went and spent a year there
hmm
um, between the ages of 24 and 25. Spent a year there. Beautiful, sitting up in the Rocky Mountains, just soaking in all of God's beautiful nature. Uh,
hmm
being able to reset my heart and reset my mind frame. Um, and just the quietness of being up in the mountains, being able to hear God's voice and Him giving me the opportunity to really change who I was and start building towards the future that I wanted. So then
hmm
after school, came back to Michigan, still didn't have anything to my name. Um, at 25 years old, I started over in Michigan, taking the first job I could get, and I became a dishwasher for a restaurant. It's hard work, wasn't my favorite, but it was helping me pay the bills. But that was actually one of the best things.
hmm
Really humbled me,
Yeah.
but ultimately, that's where I met my wife. Was at that restaurant when I was a dishwasher.
hmm
So God has an amazing plan if you just trust and follow Him. And
Yeah.
sometimes the steps that He wants you to take are
Oh,
hard, but just trust in Him.
yeah. I think that like there's many parts of your story that I like because the redemptive qualities of what a person goes through. trying to fight through stuff. That's one thing. But learning the lessons. I always tell people the destination is not as important as the journey,
Mm.
because all those things that you went through formed you to who you are now. But not only that, if you was already successful out the gate and never went through any issues, you won't be able to teach anybody about anything. People won't really respect your voice because they can't relate to you, because guess what? You're just coming from a made up place. You're not coming from a place of, hey, this really happened. This was this, this was that. So I think all those things, even though when we're going through it, it's tough, but it adds more gravity to who you are as a person. And that's what I feel.
No,
I went through not drugs and all that stuff, but I went through some stuff, and I was without, a place to stay for a little bit too. And I had gotten everything together, and it eventually it works out. So I'm proud of you, even though I don't know you. I'm proud of you fighting through it, and seeing the value of your journey.
Gary, thank you. I appreciate that. And I love the way you actually put that all together. Yeah, if I didn't go through all the terrible stuff I went through, man, I don't think I would be here. Even if I became successful back then, if I didn't take the path to actually follow God, man, I probably would be dead by now. Success is not as important as making sure that you got your life set to where God wants you to be.
Yeah, I could agree. And the crazy thing about that is, just imagine, like, you now going through all those things, you may have never ever met your wife. You
Exactly.
may have been on a whole different trajectory. So
Exactly.
yeah, definitely. That's amazing. Like people, places, and things. I know they talk about that in different recovery programs and stuff, but I'm a firm believer of that, because a lot of times, if you notice, when you're in a place, everyone has, not saying everyone, but the majority of the people there in a certain age group and all that other stuff have similar mindsets,
Mhm.
and it's hard to break out of something when all this stuff of group thought is all within this area. It's hard to separate yourself and say, hey, no, I want to do this, So I get it. I totally get it.
Appreciate that. Thank you for the honestly the kind words, but on the good why.
I know, like I said, we all go through things, and I'm a firm believer of also that everybody, there's no person that ever was born, died, or whatever, that wasn't here for a purpose. Whether it's to show someone how not to be, or whether to show somebody how to be, or how to learn from them in some sort of capacity. So you just being here and telling your story is going to help people watching this wherever, and it's helping me also, because, I have a chance to see different things from a different point of view of something maybe I haven't experienced, but I can relate to that in some way, shape, or form. So I love it. Not
Awesome.
saying I love the messed up stuff that happened to you, but I just love the way that you're a beacon of hope, because people think that they can't change. And it's like, there's people who have it worse off than you. And they may look at you and say, man, person, I can relate to that story.
Mhm.
What do I need to do to get my life in order? So salute to you, because not everyone makes it through.
I appreciate that. And I'm
And you
definitely,
got three daughters, huh?
yeah, man. Yep. God, I always say God has a funny sense of humor. Um, Giving me three daughters, man. Um, but that is
The
honestly
funniest.
another one of the blessings. It's that really helped my heart to soften, because I just grew up so angry at the world and just got in so many fights, and I was
Mhm.
just angry person. Then meeting my wife and then
Yeah.
having 3 daughters, man, really gave me the
Sure.
opportunity to understand empathy, understand love, and give people grace.
And the funniest thing about kids is kids are a very, very funny situation because you do things to try to make their life better, but at the same time, just their presence of having them saves your life. So it's like you don't like you're doing because you already have this like this responsibility. Like, man, I can't let them down. I can't. But if you didn't have them, you're willing to do knuckleheaded stuff.
Yep,
But when
yep,
you have them, yeah, man, and they actually end up just by existing saving your life.
yep.
So I totally get it,
That is so true.
man. That- yeah, you don't want to make those mistakes. You get tired. Who wants to make? I always tell people like people like, oh, you changed. You're supposed to change. You don't want to make the same mistakes at 18 and now you're making them at 40.
Yeah,
Like, what did you learn at that point?
yep,
That's crazy. It's madness. But you
yep,
have people that do it every day,
yep.
every day.
People who I love are still making those mistakes. I mean, nobody's perfect. I still make dumb mistakes every day myself, but nothing compared to what I
We
used
all
to.
do.
So just, yeah,
Yeah.
the life that I live now and the life that I used to is just a complete night and day difference. I'm just so grateful. And now finally being able to
Yeah.
pour myself back into my music. That's always been
Mm-hmm.
actual outlet for me. Really, I always just made music just
Mm-hmm.
personally for myself. That was kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
something in a diary. That was me making music. That's how I was able to share my emotions, even if nobody else heard it. But then I'm
Mm-hmm.
out, and my wife said, "I'm going to be a you. You don't put this out. It is too good not to share it with people."
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
what, even though, yeah.
How does your family, your wife and your 3 daughters influence or shape your music?
Oh man, basically in every single way. Obviously, there's going to be lots of different songs that I make that not on this album. I actually have a couple other albums that I want to release within the next year that they're already completely done. I have a
Mm-hmm.
R&B album, which I'm basically dedicating to my wife. It's like a love album. I do have a single out that I actually put out on May 7th, which would have been my wife and I's 10-year anniversary. It's called Worth the Wait. And that's basically just it's a story of how the struggle I went through, but it was all worth it to be able to meet her. So I have an entire R&B album
Mm-hmm.
come out soon. And then I have a rap album, and that's going to cover a lot of more of my darker past, um,
Mm-hmm.
true stories. But so my wife is able to pull out the softer emotions that I've always felt but never been able to articulate. Same with my
Mm-hmm.
daughter; they're my inspiration. A lot, the song I have on Backyard America, that album, I have a song called Front Seat Prayer. Um, that is the best picture of my life put into a song. It's talking about me being a dumb kid, and then now I'm grown and I can look in the back seat and I got 3 pink bows in my back seat,
Mm.
representing my daughters. Um, so yeah, basically they're my entire inspiration.
Nice. That's awesome. Like it's so funny how things just change, and you don't realize like what the change is going to be like or when it's going to happen. A lot of times when people go through a struggle, we on the outside of like, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that. But I think that person, it is sometimes I think there's a point where it clicks for somebody,
Mm.
and maybe it's a certain situation, and it's like, whoa, this if this ain't the time, then it's never going to be the time. And I think, it's more or less something internal.
Yeah.
Like we can help someone on the outside say, hey, you should do this. But I think when you want that change, that's when that change happens. I can't want something for a person.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just think that's amazing because like I said, there's so many, everyone knows somebody that, whether it's street life, whether it's, drugs, any type of addiction, we all know somebody that's died or really messed their life up to the point where, there's almost no coming back. So for someone to bounce back, that's a powerful statement. It's a powerful testimony.
Thank you. And I guess my words of encouragement to everyone else is you even if you're starting to change, you may not see it in the moment. Give it time, give it patience, and next thing you know, you're gonna look back and see all the steps that it took
Hmm.
there, and you'll be like, "Wow, maybe not in the moment. I didn't think much was changing, but now that I look,
Hmm.
everything is completely changed." Just I hope everyone gives themselves time and grace and patience um, to work towards that change that they are seeking.
Definitely. I always tell people I've just a little bit of background on me. I do clothing and some other stuff, and obviously this, but I've written 3 books, and the books deal with everything from science and mathematical stuff a little bit, but it really deals with those concepts and life lessons.
Mm.
And it's all wrapped up in a nice little bow with spirituality and different other things. So one of the things I tell people is I created a formula: timing times background times situation times environment equals a person's life experience. So
Oh,
all those things really help you. So like timing, for instance, like I said, the mistakes and the choices that you made at 16, 17 are probably not the mistakes that you're making now, or choices that you're making now, because you got time and more wisdom and information to make better decisions. Background, you may come from a certain background and have, whether it's uh whether it's, I guess the best way to put it is like it could be a neighborhood, which kind of goes with the environment too, but your background could be like your belief systems and all this other stuff. But what ends up happening is over time that changes too. Because the same, you made it when you were 16, you made it, hey, there's nothing wrong with drinking every day. Now you got 3 daughters, you're like, maybe not so much.
yeah.
So there's all these things, and I think that we're living and breathing scientists, if you will, because we test every day without us knowing. So I think that you just keep doing what you're doing because it's a great thing. It's a great story. You're gonna put out even better artwork and artistic outputs because it's something that's true. You know, you don't have to really reach too deep for it because it's right there. That's why you went through the stuff you went through. It was it's the blessing because now you have a story to tell.
fire up. Summer in the heart of the whole wide world. Sunset gold on a two-lane road. Tailgate down where the cooler stays cold. White smoke rolling off the grill real slow. Got the whole block pulling in like there they go. Flag on the porch and the kids out back, barefoot running through the yard like a racetrack. Mama got the sweet tea, daddy got the flame. Everybody here knows everybody's name. Speaker in the window got the kick drum knocking. Old men laughing while the young folks are rocking. Fireflies flash like camera lights. Man, this feels like freedom on a Friday night. We ain't gotta go downtown, we got heaven right here on the ground. A little bit of smoke, little bit of stars, whole lot of love in a backyard. Backyard America, light that fire up. Red, white, blue, put it in the sky. Everybody knows when the sun goes down, we're gonna raise a little praise tonight. Backyard America, turn that song up. Coke cans, tan lines, good times forever. From the grill to the stars to the sparks flying high. We're free, we're family, we're alive together.
The Pride and Egos line of athletic wear is a brand that tells a story about people representing individuality, diversity, equality. Everybody's got our own story. What's your story?
I have officially launched my first Ava Bentley exclusive Airbnb in Galveston, Texas. The DeForest house, built in 1883, is preserved with both luxury and history. Book your stay today on Airbnb. When you book the house, tell them you saw this ad, and you will receive a free Ava Bentley gift bag when you check in.
Pride and egos is the realest. Pride and egos, it isn't just a brand, it's a walking and breathing mantra, a living triple entendre. We don't follow the trends, we invent and redefine genres. Pride and egos is the realest. Global, not local. Global, not local.